welcome mothers and others. We have another really great candidate webinar for you tonight, and I'm so excited to bring you all these wonderful candidates. So tonight we're going to be starting with one of my favorite people in the Texas legislature, and that is Ron Reynolds. Ron is the incumbent in Texas House District 27. And what I love about Ron, besides the fact that he's really a good human being and a good person, is that he has an A on our mom's report card, which is awesome. So just to let you guys know, we will be endorsing Ron. Ron, I am so happy you joined us tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running for office and what you've been doing for Texas for the last few years?
Well, first of all, good evening. And Nancy, I want to give you a shout because I appreciate your tremendous leadership with Mothers Against Greg Abbott, the only MAGA that I support. I want to tell you that. Thank you for being steadfast. Thank you for being on the front line. It's been a joy to see your organization refreshing, to be speaking truth to power, to giving voice to the voiceless. So thank you for that. I am a seven-term incumbent. I am finishing up my seventh term and seeking my eighth term. I'm very proud of the voting record that I have with Mothers Against Greg Abbott. I'm so proud of that because you're on the right side of the issues. And the issues that I take are not for lobbyists or special interests, but the issues and the interests that I have are for what really most Texans care about. Quality public schools, access to affordable health care, making sure that we have clean air. So climate justice is so important, making sure that families have access to a livable wage. And I've been very much on the front line of increasing the minimum wage in Texas. Medicaid expansion. I filed legislation to make sure that every Texan has access to health care. Texas leads the nation with the highest number of uninsured. I've been there at the forefront and pushing for those things to happen. Good public policy, advocating for meaningful criminal justice reform so everyone has a level playing field within the criminal justice system and we don't continue to see those disparities. So I'm proud of my voting record. And the reason why I'm seeking re-election, Nancy, is because my work's not done. We know all too well from the things that you all do that we have a governor that's out of touch with Texans. We got no common sense gun reform legislation passed, not raising the age, not closing the gun show loophole. I could go on and on, but that is one of the atrocities that after so many unfortunate incidents with school shootings and mass shootings and things that could have been prevented, we did nothing. So I'm running for re-election so I can continue to fight for common sense gun reform legislation, so I can continue to advocate for teacher pay raises that we failed to do even after a record surplus, so that we can make sure that we have more money for our public schools, to continue to fight against vouchers that only benefit the wealthy and the special people that can afford to send their kids to private school already, right? Taking money away from our public schools. So I'm seeking re-election so I can continue to be on the front line. I'm proud of my progressive voting record. I currently serve as chair of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. I'm immediate past chair of the Texas Progressive Caucus. I helped found that organization. And so I'm looking forward to continuing to be re-elected, to work with organizations like yours and my constituents to advocate for the things that we need to do to improve Texas.
Well, thank you so much, Ron. So you actually mentioned so many great causes, but there's so much work to do. Like you said, it's kind of hard to pick just three. Even yesterday, some of the people running, they're like, it's hard to pick three. But let's think a little bit outside the box. What are
Sure.
the three causes that you would, that you're running on that are the most important for your district?
Well, I would say the first is healthcare, because we've seen the rising cost of healthcare, and as I mentioned, that Texas unfortunately has the distinction of having the highest number of uninsured in the nation. That is not something that we should be proud of when we can do better. And so we need Medicaid expansion to help to close that uninsured gap. Many of those people are even working poor. They don't have enough money to afford healthcare, even though they work. So Medicaid expansion is one of my top legislative priorities. Also, when it comes to raising the minimum wage to a minimum of $15, I've carried that legislation. I've worked with AFL-CIO because I don't know any family that can make it on $7.25 an hour if they work 50 hours in a week, 60 hours. Let's say they work overtime at 725, they cannot afford to pay. Eggs have gone up, inflation, gas, you name it. And yet and still Texas has not raised the minimum wage. We're one of the few states that have done that, not raised the minimum wage. So those are two issues right there. And the third one I would say is unfortunately we have so many disparities within our criminal justice system. We made some progress with some of the legislation we passed in the post George Floyd era, like, banning chokeholds and creating a duty for officers to intervene. But there's still so many other things that we need to do to increase access and a level playing field within our criminal justice system. So I could go on and on, but those are three that I'm going to want to continue to champion. And those are three that I've been on the front line, filing legislation, doing everything I can to make those areas much more improved because we have so far, we're at the bottom when it comes to healthcare. And when it comes to education, we're 46 out of 50th in funding per pupil. So that is ridiculous for a state as wealthy as Texas, a state that's more wealthy than other countries. It is unfathomable, and it makes me sick to my stomach that we continue to put band-aids and we don't do true public education reform. That is so. Those are the top three priorities that I have going into the next legislative session.
Well, you know what, Ron? I think that those are really great priorities to have. And we're hoping that the next legislative session, as Mothers Against Greg Abbott or Mothers for Democracy, we're hoping to add to our mom's report card and put social justice in there because it's really important.
Yes,
We need to
yes,
call these people out because they vote on the wrong side. So
yes.
not even just that, like an overall health care.
Oh,
This
yes.
time we just focused on women's reproductive health
Right,
care,
right.
but hopefully we'll be able to add on social justice and
Yes,
health
we
care
we
for
we,
women.
we do. And Nancy, I just say this really quickly. They were so focused. Instead of focusing on funding our public schools, they were focused on vouchers. Instead of focusing on making sure that our schools had what they needed, they were more focused on banning books. Instead of making sure our teachers had pay raises, they were more focused on making sure that trans kids could participate in sports. So they had so many misplaced priorities that they didn't focus on the real issues that most Texans care about when it comes to education and healthcare.
That sounds great. Well, I'm really excited that you're running again and really excited to see you out there on the election trail this year. So tell us now, where can we find you? Tell us all the things. How do we
Sure.
find you? How do we support you?
Yes.
How do
Yes.
we make sure that Ron Reynolds gets reelected?
Thank you. Thank you. I do have a primary opponent, and I definitely never take anything for granted. So they can find me on, well, I would say Twitter, but it's X uh, at Ron E. Reynolds. They can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm accessible. They can call me directly at 832-721-2667. That is my campaign cell phone that I keep with me that I answer personally. So I try to be accessible. I don't have a whole bunch of handlers and people that manage me, and you have to go through different layers. So if someone needs to reach me, then they can definitely reach directly out to me because the only way that I stay my post to the community is being accessible. So I want people to call me if they have a concern or if they have an issue that they want to talk to me about. So those are numbers that they call me today. I'll answer. And if I don't answer right away, then I respond as soon as I can. So Nancy, I'm definitely looking forward to continuing to work with you and your organization and other advocates that are really champion making Texas a better place to live, work, and play. We have a long way to go, and I'm very confident if we work together collectively, then we can turn this state blue and we can elect people from the governor to the lieutenant governor to a new U.S. senator to a House and a Senate that is responsible to the people and not special interest groups and millionaires and billionaires that are currently are even the wrong MAGA movement, the people that only care about that insurrectionists and focus on
Yes.
divisively the people that have supported the anti-DEI measures and the anti-LGBTQ and the wrong MAGA. So I want to continue to be reelected so that I can work to get those people out of office and make sure we elect people that are true to all Texans.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Yes.
But also, Ron, there's more than just the campaign trail. I mean, the right work that you and also the Black Caucus do is so important. So thank you
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank you.
caucus as well.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate it. Take
And
care.
last thing I just want to tell you again, thank you. Happy New Year. I'm really appreciative of you and the organizations that you represent. And I've seen you on the front line, and it's been a delight to see you be there, using your resources, using your network to make sure that we get these issues out to the masses because so many people don't vote, and we need to make sure that more people are educated on why elections matter and elections have consequences. So thank you for your leadership, and I look forward to continuing to work with you.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.